Hey Raider Nations, Joseph here for Zenny62. So today was the first day of mandatory minicamps, and we have a Josh Jacobs sighting. Now, one of the interesting things that came out of the Josh Jacobs presser was that he did address the issues that was actually brought up by Vinny Bonsignor from the Las Vegas Review Journal, whether or not he was in contact with the Raiders prior to the OTAs, or what was a discussion about him not attending. So he did say that he reached out to the coaches, position coach, as well as Coach Gruden, a couple months prior to the OTAs to inform them that he was not going to be attending. They gave him, according to him, his blessing to do some OTA work on his own, which was good to see because there was speculation, as I reported or as I alluded to, with regards to a lot of conversation about him possibly holding out. So it looks like that's not the case, which is good news for Raider fans. One of the things that I did notice, and it's possibly because we haven't seen Josh in a while, to me he looked a little bit bulkier, not in a bad way. He just looked bulkier, potentially stronger. So that could be a very good thing. It's possible that he did some weight training on his own prior to coming into the mandatory minicamps. One of the things that I kind of was taking note of is that as fans, I think we may not have come too accustomed to Josh Jacobs' personality. Can be interpreted as very stoic. Doesn't show a lot of emotion on his face. And so that's possibly one of the things that we always speculate. Oh, I wonder if he's happy, I wonder if he's not happy. But he was enthused about having Kenyon Drake, his one of his former Alabama teammates, to be on the Raiders. Even though Kenyon's a few years older than he is, he did say that he had was all encouraging and actually kind of spoke to the Raiders that it'd be great to have Kenyon Drake on the team. So there goes, and there kind of quashes that speculation that he was upset that they signed Kenyon Drake. That's not the case. He's happy because Kenyon adds another layer to the offense, which was good to see. He was also encouraged about the signing of Alex Leatherwood. Obviously, he was a teammate with Alex, who's a couple years younger than Josh. And so he looks forward to not only having Alex Leatherwood, but Kenyon Drake on the team. And he seems very enthused about this upcoming season and sees all this as a positive in terms of the offense. Now, speaking of the offense, we also had heard from Derek Carr today. And it was good to see Derek Carr being Derek Carr. He's probably the most positive NFL player that I've seen lately, and it's good and encouraging to have such a positive guy on the team. One of the things that was interesting was it brought up all the conversations or the talk with about what quarterbacks are happy or not happy, and it was kind of subtly alluded to how some of the talk about Aaron Rodgers coming to the Raiders. Now, that was said subtly because there was no name of Aaron Rodgers brought up, but you can tell by the press conference that that's basically the situation they were kind of presenting to him. And one of the interesting things that I took out of that was how emphatic Derek Carr is about continue wanting to be a Raider. He even alluded to the fact that if he's traded or he can't be a Raider no more, he doesn't necessarily think he wants to play football on any other team. He might essentially retire if he couldn't be a Raider. That's how gung-ho he is about being a Raider. He grew up in Fresno, California, which is Central California, and he grew up a Raider fan. Just like us Raider fans, he grew up a Raider fan. He wants to be a Raider. He doesn't want to play for any other team. He even said that he's only going to root for one team for the rest of his life. And so, though we hear that as fans, I think equally that statement was said so the Raider organization pays special attention to that. Because to me, that spoke of a man who's telling the Raiders, listen, without saying it, to me, that way I interpret is that don't trade me. I'm here for the long haul. Whether we win, whether we lose, whether we're rebuilding, I'm here. I'm happy to be a Raider. Nothing will ever change that. I'm happy with what we have. And he brought that up again. He brought up his upbringing and how he didn't have a lot of things growing up, according to him. And that's why he's happy where he's at. He's content with what he has. And he's going to continue being happy being a Raider. So that was some interesting takes that I took from Derek Carr. And this guy's consistent with regards to his enthusiasm, his positivity, and coming off one of the best years in his career. It's good to see him continue that moving forward. So that's just a couple of the takes that I took away from the minicamp press conference. And keep it here on Zenny62, and don't forget to like and subscribe.